The sun is an awesome and inexpensive way to get vitamin D naturally. But did you know that 90% of the damage done to your skin is caused by the sun? What's SPF? Which one should I use? How often do I need to reapply? Do I need to reapply? Welcome, my friends, and thank you so much for joining me at Simply Merci Skincare. So welcome. In case you haven't guessed, today's topic is sunscreen. Now, some of us live in climates where we experience all four seasons, but there are some who live in climates where it's warmer all year round. But regardless to whether it's hot or cold outside, the sun's rays can still be damaging. Even when it's overcast outside, sunscreen is still necessary. It just depends on how much time you spend outside. So while the primary purpose of using a sunscreen is to protect your skin from burning, there are some additional benefits and reasons why using a sunscreen should be a regular part of your skincare regimen. Now, there are so many choices out there when it comes to sunscreens. So, which one should you use? There are sunscreens for the face, which include moisturizers and some makeups that have sunscreen in them. There are sunscreens for the body. There are sunscreens for babies and young children. There are active and or sport sunscreens that are made for swimming and sports. There is basically a sunscreen for every part of the body as well as every individual. There are also different types of sunscreens: chemical sunscreens, mineral, hybrid. Choosing the right sunscreen should be determined based on your skin type and preferences, such as your skin's sensitivity level, coverage, in addition to your activity level. So the difference between a chemical sunscreen versus a mineral is that mineral sunscreens work by creating a physical barrier to reflect UV rays, while chemical sunscreens absorb UV rays and convert them into heat. Key differences include mineral sunscreens being instant acting, suitable for sensitive skin. Some may leave a white cast, and chemical sunscreens require about 20 minutes to activate. Now, there are exceptions. Obviously, there are some sunscreens out there that are mineral based that do not leave a white cast. You really just need to do your homework, and always, with so many options and so many choices out there, depending on if you're being active, swimming, or engaging in a sport. If you have a skin condition that you are concerned about, always consult a doctor or a dermatologist if you have any questions regarding which ones to use. I just remember the days when it was just so easy. You just slap a sunscreen on and go about your day. And I'm not saying having all of these options are not beneficial, but sometimes it can just get a little confusing. Always remember, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So what is SPF? SPF stands for Sun Protection Factor. The SPF number indicates the level of protection against ultraviolet or UVB rays. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes for our skin to burn from the sun. It's typically believed that sunscreens with a higher SPF offer greater protection from the sun. And for the most part, that's true. But that's not the entire story. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, recommends reapplying sunscreen every 2 hours when you're out in the sun to ensure that your sunscreen remains effective. Now, here's where it could get a little tricky. But you know that 10 minutes that it takes your skin to burn? Well, I was taught to use the SPF number and multiply it by those 10 minutes, and that will give you the time frame in which you need to reapply. Now, I'm not telling anyone to go against FDA recommendations, but I am of the opinion that it's just easier to tell people to reapply every 2 hours to ensure that they are covered in cases where people just don't want to do the math, and also to guard against any legal actions being taken. Some of you may remember the lawsuit that was brought against a very popular fast food restaurant in the 90s when an individual was burned by some hot coffee. Well, as a result, the temperature of coffee was decreased, and those little cardboard circular covers were added along with a warning that the beverage is hot and can cause serious injury if spilled. That's my take on the FDA's recommendation when it comes to their 2-hour reapply suggestion. Otherwise, why would we need all those different numbers on sunscreen products? We could just apply every 2 hours. Now, there were studies and experiments done to determine how the SPF number was initially determined, but I'm not going that deep. However, it does take a little critical thinking. I know what I know, and I know what I used to know. So that's the entire story behind those sunscreen numbers to my knowledge. SPF isn't just sunscreen, it's survival. Block the burn, fight that fade, and glow like a sun-slaying legend. Armor up. Another skincare secret that helps to slow down the progression of those fine lines and wrinkles around the eyes is to wear your glasses. If you're farsighted or nearsighted, you should always wear your glasses or contact lenses if that's your preference. However, most people believe that sunglasses are only for those sunny days. Not so. Anytime you find yourself squinting from any type of light, from the sun, daylight, a computer light, TV light, you get the picture, wear your glasses. Every time you squint your eyes, you're creating those lines that will eventually become wrinkles around the eyes. It's going to happen eventually, so let's not speed it up. Also, as it relates to sunscreen, I just want to point out some areas that we may neglect, we don't readily think about, and that would be our ears, our lips, the bridge of our nose, and our hands. There are sunscreen lip balms that have sunscreen in them for the lips, because if you just put an oil over your lips without any sunscreen, or that does not have a sun protection in it, you could be like burning your lips, or just like cooking, not burning, but cooking in the heat. So you want to make sure that you are putting something on your lips that has a sunscreen in it. Same thing with your ears. Now, if you have longer hair, you can kind of covering up your ears. But if you're wearing your hair pulled back or up, ears is just not something that you think about and think about reapplying. Like, we will cover our face, but we don't really think about putting it on our ears. So those are just areas you want to pay attention to if they are exposed. Same thing with your hands. Now, I'm a lotion gal. I cannot stand dry hands. So I'm always making sure that my hands are protected, moisturized with lotion. But at the same time, you want to make sure you are putting sunscreen on your hands as well, and not just keeping them moisturized with lotion. Especially in the summer months, you may have your hand out the window on a regular basis, or on the steering wheel. So you just want to make sure that those areas that we don't really think about that much, but that are just kind of always exposed, that you're also protecting those areas as well with sunscreen on a regular basis. Why drive to a sauna when your sanctuary's right down the hall? Step into your home sauna and let the stress melt away. In just minutes, you're boosting circulation, easing muscle tension, and flushing out toxins, all without leaving your house. It's your personal wellness retreat, ready whenever you are. Relax, recharge, repeat. Your body will thank you. Now, I'd like to share another one of my skincare secrets with you, and this one relates to makeup application. Now, I'm just of the opinion that when it comes to applying your makeup, I'm big on using disposable tools. Now, what do I mean when I say disposable tools? Something like this, makeup sponges. And this is an assortment of 28 different sponges. I got this from really the dollar store, seriously. And it's just got 28, and you can even cut those up if you don't need to use them all at one time. But it's just more sanitary. And I'm of the opinion that you really don't need to use brushes to apply things unless you're going to be doing a lot of blending. Now, I don't wear a lot of eye makeup on a regular basis or just a lot of makeup overall. But when I do, I try to use disposable tools because they're just more sanitary. You can throw them out, one time use, you can pitch them. Some people use sponges to cleanse their countertops with. I'm like, no, because you are could be potentially spreading germs, and the same thing can apply to your skin. I just like things that are disposable and or things that I can clean thoroughly. And even when I have my brushes here, when I do use my brushes, when I clean them, I'm old school. I keep an old pot and I'll fill that pot up with water, throw my brushes in there and let them boil, to clean them that way, and then just let them air dry. Now, nowadays, they will tell you that, cleaning your brushes that way can damage them. And that is true. Some of these brushes are very expensive. Some people may have, their favorite brush that they use, or their high end or their lower end. I have an assortment of brushes. So you may not want to do that with your higher end brushes. That's why it's always good to know how to do things with the 10 digits that Abba gave you or some disposable tools just for sanitary purposes. I have just always been that way because even with like the brush cleanser, I want to throw some soap and water on my stuff and just clean it that way. That's just me. I'm just old school like that. I know it is sanitized, it's sterilized, and it's clean. What did we do prior to having the makeup cleansers and all of the brushes and everything? What did we use? We used our fingers. We used things that you can dispose of. When you really think about it, it's really all about money, pushing the products on you. There's so many products out there that you can use, and it can make things easier, make things look better. So I'm not ruling them out altogether. I like things that are disposable because they're just more sanitary. So that is just my opinion. And that's something that I have practiced over the many, many, many years. Now, just to be clear, if you are one who loves your brushes, you have your favorite brushes, you have your favorite beauty blenders, I am not telling you to throw them away. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's working for you, don't change it. I am just saying to make sure that you are cleaning them properly because you could be transferring bacteria and things onto your skin that is being more harmful to your skin because you're not cleaning them. I would rather damage a brush. I don't care how much it costs me. I'd rather damage a tool, a brush, and replace it than to damage the skin wherever it is on my body. So that is just my take on it. Now, there is one more skincare secret that I want to share, and it's related to those of us who love to get our nails done. When we get the UV, we put our hands under in the UV light. I wish that I had started this practice a lot sooner. And that is wearing the gloves that have the cutouts in them. It's just going to protect your hands from letting that UV light damage your skin, the skin on your hands. And it's, as I've started doing this, I realize some nail technicians, they get a little irritated by they're like, oh, those gloves. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. They're my hands. And it's just really needed when you put your hands in that UV light, in those lamps, because you're on repeatedly. And over the years, it can age your hands a lot sooner. The UV light used in gel manicures can be damaging because it emits UVA rays, which can cause premature aging and increase the risk of skin cancer over time. Repeated exposure can still lead to DNA damage and cell mutations. To protect your hands, you can use sunscreen, wear fingerless gloves, or use other protective measures before and during the manicure. And this is just an example of what the fingerless gloves look like. and on your hands. So, they still have, and you could even press them back some. And I got these off of Amazon. They were like $1 something. So they're not expensive. And what I've gotten in the habit of doing is just keeping them, in my purse, on my person, so that when I go get a manicure, I always have them with me. Just a little tip, just a little skincare tip. And that's something as we age, even if you manage to shave off some years, there are some telltale signs that you are older, and it is your hands and or your neck. Those are ways that a person is like older, even when they have like really kept themselves, maintained a youthful appearance. You can kind of usually tell by their hands and also the neck. If there is a skincare topic that you would like for me to address, or if you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments section. But for now, that's it. Looks like the sun is going down. If you've gotten any value from this video, I would really appreciate it if you would take a moment to hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time around. Bye-bye.